This program is proudly brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana. Welcome to the program. In an effort to encourage a change in the entrepreneurial landscape of Botswana through sharing, encouraging and inspiring stories from some entrepreneurs, First Issues came across Seed Mase. After not doing well in her computer systems engineering program at Botswana Consultancy College, Seed bet on herself and became the change that she wished to see in her life. She started a domestic cleaning services company. True to the definition of entrepreneur, she saw an opportunity, she took it, and she ran with it. Now, she runs a thriving cleaning company in Gaborone, aimed at helping those who do not have the time to clean for themselves, busy with other demands. What is inspiring in all of this is that Seed hopes to use the proceeds from her cleaning company to go back to school next year. Our conversation with her encompasses how she was able to identify this opportunity and why domestic cleaning and not something else, perhaps aligned with her computer systems engineering program. Seed, thank you so much for coming on First Issues and affording us your time. We're here today to talk about your business, your cleaning services company, right? Tell us how you identified this gap in the market, so much so it inspired you to close it.
Thank you for having me. Well, it wasn't really identifying anything in the market. It was solely because I needed the money. And from a discussion that I had with a friend, it's because I get irked by untidy places because I have OCD. So every time I see something that is out of place, he was like, you know what, why don't you turn this into something that can get you money? That's where the business here, Seeds Cleaning Services, started from. So it's basically from a conversation and then it turned into a business.
So where do you get the drive to keep going, right? What is it that you're so passionate about within this business that makes you wake up every day taking appointments to go clean people's homes?
It's the money. The money is good. The pay is good. And cleaning people's homes, you get to meet people, you get to interact with people and get to know the kind of people that they are outside of what you see on social media. For me, it's not just cleaning. It's providing a clean space for my clients, a place where they can just knock off and come and be themselves, but in a clean space. So yeah, and mostly the money. The money is good.
So let's just talk about this thing here, right? Young people have a tendency to want a certain kind of job, employment, company that they want to be running, and it's usually white collar. But you, as a young person, decided to become an entrepreneur in a blue collar industry. How do you deal with the peer pressure of, the whole mindset of this is not for me, this is not cool enough as a young person?
Basically, I wouldn't say I didn't get thrown into the peer pressure before, but when I started being an entrepreneur, I got to understand that I thrive more when I'm my own boss. You understand? Because I make the rules, I decide when I want to rest, and I can make a target for myself. I believe it's much better for me to be an entrepreneur, to hire other people than to be hired. So that's what keeps me going. And for me, I've never been one to label jobs. I believe as long as I get money at the end of the day, it's not going to be written, this one it's for a cleaner, and then this one it's for somebody below, somebody that works at an office.
What limiting beliefs have you had to step aside from to be able to run your company?
I had to take away from the fact that people have classicism, right? But you need to be able to be strong in your core to understand that you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for a greater purpose. You know what you want, right? For me, running a business is mostly because I'm trying to thrive off on my own. And I will have mentors, yes, that are employed and everything. But it's because I'm trying to thrive off on my own. I'm trying to always stay grounded in my own beliefs.
There's a key focus in every one of your answers, and that is the pay. What about it, really? I mean, we understand that for us to be here today, for me to be clothed, for me to get to work, I needed to have the money to have done so. But for you, it seems to be the only focus. Is it so?
It's the main focus because I believe there's integrity in making your own money, right? Because now we're living in a generation where somebody can end up doing certain things because they don't make their own money. So I believe for me, money is the most important thing in my business. It's the key focus for me to say, okay, fine. When I have money, I have the freedom of choice to do everything I want. And being able to afford the lifestyle that I want and not living beyond my means, for me, it's important to me as a woman.
This is a customer-centered service in the sense that you are primarily dealing with customers. Yeah. That's how you make your money, and it is forward-facing. How do you deal with your customers? In that there's issues of dissatisfaction, issues of trust, issues of loyalty, and just normal human conflict.
I believe I'm not for the customer is always right. I believe if you invite me into your home, it's because you saw the service that I offer and you trusted me to come and give it to you. You understand? I'm open to criticism. I'm open to improving. But there are some customers that are hard to satisfy. I just understand and take that dissatisfaction as a way to improve myself where they feel I lack.
So it's quite inspiring to come across young people who have taken it upon themselves to employ themselves, do something to earn a living instead of waiting for government or to be hired simply because they went to tertiary school for a higher qualification. So maybe at this point you could give a word or two of encouragement to somebody who has graduated and are still waiting, hoping to get a job.
I'm just going to speak on what I said. My main focus is having your own money as a person. Just find out what you're good at. Even if you're not good at something, find something, a skill that you can acquire that can make you money. I think we need to face the reality. You can't just be sitting and waiting for somebody else to employ you when you can make the money that they're going to pay you either way, maybe in a week or 2 weeks.
bitsa motho gore motho a leke mangwala go duela metsi.
Mama ka re male jana ha o tlhoka le go tsamela kgakala gore go duela metsi FNB re diretse tiro motho
senthe
mma kwa go marekisetsong a ile gore ana le tshwala FNB cash plus so se tlhokanyela ke o mangwa gago mo tirisong le reference number e bon dinomoro tse diriswang go ruragatsa dituelo tsa gago.
FNB what?
FNB cash plus.
Madonna makante ke monto sample le ka mananeo a FNB ya cash plus.
La ha re le nna ke gone go utang ka dona ebile ke ne ke sa dumele.
Deposit cash and coins, withdraw from e-wallet, make cardless cash withdrawals, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, pay bills such as water, electricity and many more.
FNB. Dona. Nyawa ena ke ra sa thare mpare motiki. Na ke ra go motho hela mamrapedi go tola skontere hela o bua go semosong wa go duela semosong manane wa FNB cash plus.
Welcome to First Issues. In a previous episode, we spoke to Amanda Masire, an entrepreneur in the agriculture space. She is the founder of Green Technologies, a horticulture and dryland farming service center. They supply agricultural equipment from greenhouses, tunnels to pipes, shade net structures to mention but a few. She also has a farm in Francistown called Greenland Leisure Farm, an agro-tourism farm with event facilities, poultry farming, greenhouse and shade net farming, where beetroot, cabbage, peas and tomatoes are currently growing, with another section of the farm having small stock. She supplies farm produce to such supermarkets as Mr. Veg, Choppies and Sefalana. Ms. Amanda epitomizes what it means to be an entrepreneur, taking risks on opportunities that aim to solve problems within society. Even though she's not a fanatic of being out in the sun working the farms, she was not blind to the possibilities that lay in the sector of economy. This, however, does not come without its own set of limitations and challenges. Tonight's conversation with our guest endeavors to highlight what some of these are, with the hope that other entrepreneurs and those aspiring to be entrepreneurs will learn a thing or two. With agriculture being a widespread practice in Botswana, competition can be an impeding factor. Ms. Amanda, however, says what is important is to identify other parts of the value chain that are not as saturated to offer services in.
Well, you know, there's plenty of room for all of us in agriculture because it is fairly new. We understood agriculture to be farming, which is the end of the value chain, but it starts from consultancy, retail, seedling production, fertilizers. So there's still room for more players, but as you rightly say, when people realize you're doing something and it seems to be doing well, they tend to copy you. So the entrepreneur in me always says, what can I do to make it better for myself? Like, I'm my own competitor. I ask myself, what is it that my competitor would do to close me down? Hence why I then opened the Farmers Academy.
Ms. Amanda says, even though she has been in the sector of economy for more than a decade, the hoops and loops she has to jump through never cease. She says it does not help that she's a woman in a male-dominated industry, but she has not let that stop her from working hard to achieve her dreams.
I must say I am still jumping over hurdles up to now. It is not a smooth path. You just need to believe in what you're doing, see it as your calling, and want to serve Botswana. That is why I got in. It was not easy. One, I am a teacher by profession. I don't have agriculture background, though there are at least 4 people that have worked for me that are more educated than me. One of my best feelings was signing a check for a whole professor after developing BQA modules for the academy. So it has not been easy. One, I'm a woman in a male-dominated terrain. So not just does society not believe it, but the farmers themselves was, can this woman really deliver? So because I'm an entrepreneur, I found the right people with the right qualifications to come and help me achieve my end goal. So it's not without struggle. Hey, you have to get stronger when they try to break you.
But how do you get stronger? What is it that you have had to do to build that impenetrable fortress in your mind to say to yourself, in spite of the naysayers, this is what I know and this is the path that I'm going to follow? Because I can imagine having to hear all the negativity all the time, that it can be quite discouraging and some people actually just quit.
Yes, you see now, you can imagine stepping into agriculture in a desert country where agriculture is just a social thing, where Botswana get government grants for seed and fertilizer. They just throw it on their field, whether the birds eat it. It wasn't really structured. And I came in thinking, greenhouses, we don't have this. This is going to make it. But we were far behind. And instead of giving up, I decided to start where they were. And I knew who I was trying to serve, and that's the Ministry of Agriculture. So one thing I know I do is I knock on doors. I went and presented my case to the right people, visit the PS. Doesn't matter how long the appointment takes to see them, meet the minister, find out the structure of the ministry that you're serving so that you can align yourself properly and let them buy your story. Be at the right forums all the time, farmers events, and sell yourself, sell your story so that they don't hear it from the naysayers, as you call them.
Our guest says success in entrepreneurship is not an overnight phenomenon. It takes time, perseverance, and hard work. She encouraged young people especially to rid themselves of the belief that the journey is glamorous, because it is not.
I need to save them fast. It is not going to happen like that. It never does. They need to read more biographies about all the successful people. Business has got milestones. First, you have to take care of the business with everything that you have. You're going to take your savings, you're going to bond your properties, and then the business takes care of itself. I feel like the first time I saw it able to pay for itself was one of the most exciting moments for me. Like, wow, did it pay its own salaries? Did it pay its own overheads? Yeah. And then it will take care of you in that order. It will not skip that order for anything. So to all the young people out there, remember, first you take care of the business, then the business takes care of itself, then it will take care of you. And there is no altering that order.
Ta bitsa motho gore motho a leke mangwala go duela metsi.
Mama ka re male jana ha o tlhokana le go tsamela kgakala gore go duela metsi. FNB re diretse tiro motho
tsenthe
mma kwa go marekisetsong a ile gore ana le tshwala FNB Cash Plus. Se se tlhokanyela ke o mang wa gago mo tirisong le reference number e bong dinomoro tse diriswang go ruragatsa dituelo tsa gago.
FNB what?
FNB Cash Plus.
Madonna makante ke montso samplele ka mananeo ya FNB ya Cash Plus.
La ha re le nna ke gone go utang ka dona ebile ke ne ke sa dumele
ka ke heditse.
Deposit cash and coins, withdraw from e-wallet, make cardless cash withdrawals, buy prepaid airtime and electricity, pay bills such as water, electricity, and many more.
FNB.
Dona. Nyawa ena ke ra setara. Mpare motiki. Na ke ra go motho hela mamarapedi. O tola skontere hela. O bua go se mosong wa go duela se mosong. Manane wa FNB Cash Plus.
Welcome to the last segment of this week's episode of First Issues. Previously, we started a series on insurance, prompted by Suncost founder and co-partner Donald Ditzela's plight of having his stock confiscated, thereby experiencing profit loss. With financial loss being one of the challenges of running a company, our thought was to look into solutions that may help with this, and in this case, it was insurance. On this last installment of the series on insurance, we look into business all-risk cover with Business Development Manager at First National Bank Insurance Brokers, Rebaone Khuwe. What is it and what does it cover?
So basically what business all-risks cover is a cover that covers those items that can be carried in person and those that can also be worn. I'll just give an example. For businesses, you have your laptops, you have your cell phones, you have your iPads, your tablets, and then you also have your expensive jewelry. And then I'll use another example for when you operate as a cleaning company. Your machinery, you'd have to carry them around where you're going to be doing your works. So those items will be covered under the business or risks section. So the cover operates on a 24-hour basis. So wherever you carry those valuables, they should be covered for any loss or any damage that may occur.
Let us understand that 24 hours bit. What does it mean?
It means that wherever you carry them, could be in South Africa, in different countries, it means that the cover will respond to that should you incur any losses.
What are the conditions of this cover? We've been talking about various conditions for various covers.
Yeah. So basically what would require from you as our client would be that you provide correct values for your assets to ensure that you are adequately covered. So what we need from you is to give us the correct specifics. That would be the make, model, if there's a serial number that is applicable, also include it to ensure that your asset is also adequately insured. And then also ensure that the figure or the amount that you're going to be giving is the correct value or the purchase value of that particular item.
Lest somebody feels like insurance imojele, like they like saying, what exclusions must your people who are wanting to take up this cover be aware of?
So as I've mentioned previously, I did mention that Ghana insurance policies do not cover issues that wear and tear. Wear and tear ke ha so se tsohala kana so onala. So that is one of the exceptions of this particular policy. And then it also does not cover any fraudulent acts. An example, I report my company phone is stolen, yet I know that it is not. That is a fraudulent act, which is an exclusion under the insurance policy. Yeah.
Clarify that the fraud aspect of it, right? And maybe besides, are there any consequences to the investigator at the insurance company finding out that this is a fraudulent claim?
Well, yes, definitely there will be consequences. Can I remember any fraudulent act will be reported to the police? Yeah, so the consequences, well, now you have to involve the Botswana Police Services. So we really urge our clients from lodging in any fraudulent claims.
This program was proudly brought to you by First National Bank of Botswana.